Hello and welcome to Houston Virtual's Teacher Orientation. In this module, we'll be focusing on managing student work. As we log on to the platform, managing student work and monitoring student progress are the main things that teachers will be doing in the platform, and they are of utmost importance. For our students to be successful, they must be able to continue to work. So when we log into the platform, again, our two main windows here are Messages and Actions. So I see that my Actions box is full. I currently only have one student working in the platform on multiple courses, but I see here that I'm going to have to address several issues. So let's start by unlocking the pretest for this student. If I click on this, it's going to take me directly to that course. Anatomy and Physiology is a credit recovery course. That's the only one. Initial credits do not have pretest. So I can come in here and unlock that. But I do want to make sure I communicate with the student. Please do not take this pretest unless you have enough time to complete it in one sitting. Once I've unlocked that pretest for them, I'll go back and I notice that that's no longer part of the actions. Okay, so I go here, I have a blocked failed attempts. So this particular student has taken this assessment, this lesson 3 times, attempt 3 out of 3. And the highest score they posted was an 11 out of 100. So what I'd really like to do is go through here and see what the issue is. Well, students getting a lot of these questions wrong. There are a couple of partial credits, but most of them are incorrect answers. Occasionally I like to look through here to make sure that students should not get more credit than what they have posted. So here the student received 6 points out of 8. That's a 75% partial credit on this particular question. Now I may go through here and call the student up to my desk, or I may communicate them through the help button or the message and ask them for some more clarification on this question. If they give that to me, I can come up here and change this to maybe 7 out of 8 or 8 out of 8 and update that score. In the next section, where we have questions that are multiple choice and incorrect, after the student has failed this 3 out of 3 times, I may ask them to take some notes on this topic and perhaps even work out a few example problems for me before I unlock or reassign this lesson. So after I am satisfied with the student work, I can go in and reassign those questions to the student so that they'll have another opportunity to answer them. Or if I wanted to, I could also go in and reassign the entire lesson. This one was a partial correct. I can ask them for clarification and update the score, or I can simply reassign the entire question. So now you see the assignment score is 0. The student will have to take the assignment again, but it should show up as available now in their window. Other items that I see here, we still see some assignments that are blocked. So if we click on that, go in, unlock. This is a new unit, so it looks like the student completed, almost completed the previous unit, probably has a pending grade in there waiting for me. Let's take a look. So graded, graded, skipped, graded, 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 skipped, graded, graded, skipped, and the test is awaiting my actions. Okay, you can see that there by the exclamation point. All right, so it looks like the student's actually done pretty well. They have a 91 right now in this unit. So let's click on this test and see what we can do. All right, so the questions in red obviously are wrong, green are full credit, yellow are partial. We note that some of the reds have asterisks. those are questions that require my attention. So most of the time those are going to be open-ended or free response questions. All right, so I can look at the prompt of the question and the student's response. I can also take a look at the answer key that's provided. So here's an ideal response for this question. And then here's what the student, how the student answered. They obviously have some spelling mistakes here and some grammar issues as well. So this student says, I will use a graduated cylinder and a test tube. I will be really, really safe when doing this experiment. Let's see how that compares to the ideal response. Okay, so they do have the graduated cylinder piece in there, but they're really missing a good component of that response. So maybe I come up here and give them a partial 3 points out of 25, just for mentioning the graduated cylinder. I update that score, and now you see that it is yellow instead of red. It's yellow because they didn't get full credit, they got partial credit. Let's look at question 12. Okay, when presented with the question, does plant food X have an effect on production of tomatoes? All right, let's look at the answer. Experiment has to have two groups, one exposed to plant food X, the other not. Conditions must be the same for both groups. All right, so let's see. There's the hypothesis, 10 tomatoes, same soil, same water, same light. Half of them get plant food X, several months recorded. So that actually looks like a pretty solid response. There are a couple of spelling mistakes, but we will overlook those and that student will receive full credit. Notice on this one that the box turns green instead of yellow. So they have an updated score now for the assessment. And I'm finished with this, so we'll go back out to the home screen. The test was failed, but the unit is passed, and so what we might want to do from there is just go ahead and open up the next unit for that student. So we're in biology. I'm going ahead and let them start the next unit. So there we go. Notice that unit now says 100% now that I've graded the test, and it's posting the score for that unit. And so the student should be able to start working through this unit as long as they're passing the lessons and the quizzes. Okay? All right, so that's how we address grading and clearing the actions box. Notice there's nothing in the actions box now. I do have a message over here from the student, so let's check on that. I click on it and I see that that student realized they misspelled a word in the test. Please be nice about it. Okay, so we will reply or just ignore that message and whatever you'd like to do there. So thanks for the heads up. All right, so send the message back to the student, and now I've addressed everything in the message and the actions box. So it's very important that you clear this actions box multiple times per day so that your students can continue to work. If you don't, they really have to sit around and wait on you. So for students to be able to progress through their courses at a good pace, we need the actions box cleared. Okay. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is to take a quick look at the grade book and take a look at what that student is working on. They're obviously working in Algebra 2 and Biology, so I would take a look at both of those just to make sure that the items are open. So this one's blocked, so I want to go ahead and unlock that. I've already reassigned this problem or this lesson here, and that way students, and we'll look like we're good here. That way students can continue to work. Okay, I hope that was helpful, and like I said, make sure that students don't have any barriers to them progressing through their courses.